to CHFJPY. Okay, so you guys should be hearing me. I think you guys are hearing me. So we're just gonna give a update on the markets, right? And what happened to the markets the basically last week, right? Where we want to look at it. So basically, right, this is like a part three, right? This is like the after of the markets. So you have like before and after, and this would be like basically the after, right? So let's get into this video. All right, so we're gonna start off with GPUSD, right? So this trade I was interested in last week, as you guys know, right? When the trade was here, and I was stating that I would want price to have a shift of structure or just a break of the EF interest in order to sell. Right, so let's go back 5 days from ago. Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so 5 days ago, we were here as this doji candlestick, right? And then on the 4 hour, we were somewhere here, if I'm remembering correctly, somewhere around here, right? I wanted the price to break the EF interest, came back for a pull, came within this EF interest for a pullback, and then we'll be able to sell. But yes, price did that, but the reason and how I lose some money off this trade was because I did enter the trade before it broke the F interest. So when price was like here on the 2 hour time frame, let me circle that real quick. When price was somewhere here on the 2 hour time frame before this breakout right here, right? I actually took the trade. So before the breakout, I took the trade, and then after price broke here, price came off a pullback, which is where we should be looking for entry somewhere around here. I had to go to the downside, but because I was already in the trade from this candlestick before price breakout, and I have the mindset of not couldn't trade when I take them unless I know for a fact it's going to stop loss and the reasons behind how much saver. But like me closing a trade out emotionally or closing a trade out without any valid reason isn't something I should be doing. Right. So that being said, I didn't do that and I lost out on this trade. I don't even think I was earned like in the market when this was happening. So yeah, I lost on GPUSD because of impatience. So that being said, try to be more patient, guys. Something that you can learn from this video from me, right? From my mistake. All right, so I was not patient enough with this trade. I lost because of that reason. So now we're gonna go to the next trade, which I actually took a win on. So that would be AD card. AD card. So I was saying to you guys, right? Oh my God, hold on. I was stating the fact that I was interested in taking this. Is it AD card? Yes, it's AD card. I was interested in taking this trade to the upside, right? So the weekly time frame, right? This doji candlestick that you see here, which is also an indecisive candlestick, was not created. It was created this week, right? But before it was here. So that being said, right? The weekly was there. Come back 4 days, not 4 days, 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the market closed here, right, on the weekly time frame and day time frame. This is where the market closed. And I was stating that I wanted a pullback within this F interest in order to continue to buy for this trade, right? We did not get that, right? We did not get that pullback into the F interest itself. But what happened is that price continued to push to the upside. And then when I went on to the lower time frame, as in the 4 hour time frame, I saw that price was starting to reject from this EF interest. Right? I was like, okay, this is questionable. Should I take trade eventually or should I not? You know? And I was there thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. And I said to myself, This is just gonna be a totally decent trade if I do take this trade right now, but at the same time I see so much potential in this trade. Feel like I want to take it. The 4 hour close like this, I was not in the market at this time, but the 4 hour close, right, being a basically a bearish swing bar, did not enter the market then. I was not in the market then, so yeah, totally out of it. I saw that a trade is basically looking to go to the downside, so I was taking time frames into consideration, just as I'm doing now. Basically, I'm going through the time frames and looking around, see how can I enter this trade, or if I want to enter this trade. I was basically looking around to that, and then I went on the 30 minute time frame, and this was looking really, really good. Sorry about that. This was looking really, really good, right? So I saw that, and I was like, okay, it's getting more and more tempting to do this trade. I saw that the 30 minutes time frame closed as an engulfing. And from there is where I was like, okay, I think it's my time to shine, right? So saw that and I pretty much entered the trade from there. And then I think I think it was during the day I saw that the trade was pulling back. I was like, oh, you're pulling back. I was like, why would the trade pull back? Like that's what I was asking myself, why would the trade pull back into the F interest? I was like, hmm, unless price wants a pullback in order to continue push. So for a fact, right, when you have a shifter structure, you should have a pullback, right, to then continue bearish or bullish. So that being said, price had a shifter structure or a change in trend, right? Price had that, and then it came up for a pullback. So that's what happened after I came up for pullback. You can see this beautiful 30 minutes engulfing right here. And from there, we totally sold off in the markets. So that's pretty much what basically happened. That's pretty much my thought process behind this trade. And then we took another trade. So yes, guys, we took a lot of trades. We're trying to make it so much that we took a lot of trades. And the next part pin on it. That shows you that it was nothing much. Let me look. I lost like $5 from this trade. Nothing much. Basically $5, approximately $5 basically. Now, this was the next trade that I took. And this was actually a trade that I think I updated on. So this worked for good. This worked for good. Now, as you can see in the time frame, this CF interest should be rejecting to the downside, and it was pretty much bullish. So I was predicting that price should come back somewhere down here to create that higher low. So that's what I was trying to predict. Now, and use the CHF day time frame, you can see that price here had a um hold on, price here had a decisive candlestick, right? After decisive candlestick, we then had bullish, um, a bearish candlestick to the downside. That's like an even star formation. Now, even star formation normally means the price is going down, especially at an EF interest, right? So that being said, I was interested from there, but I didn't enter the trade before the candlestick they close at that, right? I entered the trade from somewhere around here, I think, from this even star formation. I think, right? I entered the trade from somewhere around here. Can I see this trade is just took off into being a 1 to 2, and from there we made some more profit. So that was just pretty much it for the week. Nothing much happened. Just took some losses, and mostly we actually took wins because the wins did overdue, right? It did overdue the fact that we lost, right? So that being said, yeah, that's just pretty much for the week. So I'll update you on the week market that is basically going to open in a few weeks.